So I was talking to Ryukin about a month ago now, where I'd suggested an idea where you can delay the end game by burning whites so that to create the burnt pieces, which then replace the whites, and they sort of delay the end of the mid game. And this you'd want to do this specifically when you have lots of whites on the board, and you'd want to delay it so that you can spawn some spices. But I sort of jokingly suggested it because burning burns is something that only sort of Ryukin has been able to do, and only by pausing the puzzle and working out what you have to do in paint. But recently he uploaded a video of burning using 1 brown and 1 black, which I found interesting. Where he creates sort of a situation like this by, I mean, you can move this from anywhere on the board, sort of over to the burnt piece, and then you move the burnt piece one away from the wall, which you can, as long as you have sort of a triplet of pieces, you can always cycle it, so that will always be able to happen. So once it's one away from the wall, you then can take these pieces and do like a reverse butterfly. Until you get to about here, and then you've got it one off the edge. I mean, if you had another brown, then it's fine because you can just whiz the brown up and it goes in. But then you're stuck in this. It's not quite perfect. It doesn't feel quite right, and this is what I did in the video. And I decided you can take it a step further, and it's potentially easier, in my opinion. Where instead of pulling like he was doing, where the pieces spend most of the time on the right of the junk piece, like that, you can instead do some pushing. So it's the same start setup, but once you get to here, instead of taking it back around, you switch sides of the burnt piece, and now you sort of, let's move this out of the way, you're sort of pushing it along rather than pulling it along. And now the burnt piece ends up in the final column, which is, in my opinion, very important, because now it's kind of, you're not left trying to work out how to fit it in, and it's just by a simple switch at the beginning, and it will always end up in the last column now. I get 2 burns. I can show kind of both side by side. So this is the setup for both, and then pulling. Sorry, this is pushing. So I'm always keeping the junk pieces to the left, and then for the pulling, they're always to the right. And you kind of want to pull it away from the wall initially, and then continue with pushing, because otherwise you end up with the annoying one off the wall. And I think this should make burning burns relatively simple. Like, you should be able, like, every kind of person who's hit ultimate should be able to do this fairly easily. You just have to do it when you've got enough, like 3 columns of junk or something, so that you've got plenty of time if you mess up or something like that. And it's quite relaxing to do too.